Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Eh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you are watching this video right now. Today we will have a presentation about social media's effect on mental health, and this is the sixth presentation for the academic speaking assignment individual presentation that's handled by Mr. Mohidin. So without any further ado, let's get started. Table of contents. There are four contents of this presentation. As usual, this presentation will be divided into two parts. The first part will cover the definition of factual example, and the second part will cover the analysis and conclusions of this presentation. Including the closing as well. So yeah, let's get started the slides. The first is definition. What is social media? Also, what is mental health in general? So to answer this kind of question, I want to take you guys out of this PPT slides for a second, to explore the Google. What is social media? Social media, this is the simple definition of social media, is a computer-based technology that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual networks and communities. By design, social media is internet-based and give users quick electronic communication of content. In other hand, mental health definition includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It helps determine how we handle stress related to others and make healthy choices. So that is the simple definition of social media and mental health in general. Next, we have the second slide, or the second part of this presentation, is factual examples. This is data from EDN Times. I've got this picture. I've got this picture from EDN Times, and that is about the survey that was handled by Into the Light, collaborated with Change.org in the month of May until June 2020. And About mental health, and the result is most of them, and maybe 98%, to be precise, of these respondents admit that they're lonely and want to get this social suicide thought in their head. So this is the actual examples, this is the factual examples of this presentation, because actually there are so many narration about this topic, this data, but I want to emphasize the point I'm trying to make here is that they're lonely, they admit that they are lonely, and they want to do some bad things, and it's not like self-harming, in the easy way. It's suicide. It's the highest level of self-harming. So it is dangerous, and yeah, it is kind of sad actually. And yeah, so that is the end of the first part of this presentation. I'll see you again in the next, or in the second part of this presentation. Hey there, it's me again. And as I've said previously, I want to continue about the presentation of this topic, and we've arrived to this third part of this presentation, and that is the analysis of the topic, and that is social media worries. This is the data from the American Psychological Association about the worries of the worries about the people towards social media. I worry about negative effects of social media on my physical and mental health. This is you can see the data. 80 sorry 48% of millennials and 37% of Gen Xers and 2002 is boomers, and 15 of them are matures. So most of the times, this social media affects most to the millennials because they're still in the productive, age, so that they tend to be more uh, what what's to say this tend to be more indecisive about their mind, their decision towards life. So yeah, that's why the social media affects mental health to the millennials, most of the times. But that being said, it doesn't mean that social media doesn't affect the other. It also affects the Gen Xer, or the adults, and also boomers and also majors. So in to conclude, social media is affects every single person. I mean, every single kind society of our nation, from the millennials, turns, boomers, and matures. All of them are affected, but even if not most of them. And the second analysis is about dark side of social media. This is the data I've got from the Google. There's Facebook. It will attack you at anxiety attacks and depression, and the YouTube will make you obsession. Is about obsession and comparison with others, and Pinterest is fake friendship and no real interaction, and the Twitter will make you FOMO, or fear of missing out, which is some cases that we have experienced for these past few years. I'm sorry. And the last is Instagram. It makes us, it increases our insecurities and makes our self-esteem lower than it actually is. So yeah, Facebook is about anxiety, YouTube is about obsession and comparison, Pinterest is about fake and no real interaction, and Twitter is about FOMO, and Instagram is about insecurities and low self-esteem. And this is the next analysis. Is social media good for mental health? This is the data from digital information world. The point is 38% agree that social media is bad for mental health. Because why? This is most of them harmful effects of social media. They are agreed, but on the other hand, there are this 45% of the respondents think that it is like a knife. If you use it wisely, you can, make it to do a good thing. But if you can't control yourself, then it'll be bad for you, especially for your mental health. So this is the point I'm trying to make in this analysis. And here comes the conclusions. The conclusion is social media is bad for mental health. But why? Because if we want, or if we used it like over time, we will have, and we can't control ourselves. We will have several disorders, like the presentation or like the slides I've mentioned previously. This is why social media is bad for mental health. And the second point, social media can be good sometimes, but how? Of course, if you can control yourself to use these social medias, because we know that social media is compete to take our attention to them, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. They compete to get our attention. So if we can't control our attention or our focus, we will be drowned by this kind of applications, because it's not you that control them, but they control you if you can control yourself. So please be focused and control yourself when it comes to the usage of social media. Yeah, the point of this presentation is use your social media wisely. This is the point or the message that I've said to myself, because I usually kind of hard for me to control myself. So this is the message for me, and I hope you guys can take this message to yeah, this is the message of this presentation. And that's it. Thank you for listening up to the very end, and I do apologize if I have any mistakes. And yeah, if you have any questions, please write it down, or just come to me and ask me immediately. I will answer it as fast, or I will answer it uh, as fast as possible, and in my capability, of course. Thank you. Thank you again, and bye bye. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.